hard work mode here in the Carolinas, both north and south. And we were graced by the presence of one Hurricane Helene. Definitely in her diminished form out here, but some parts of the Carolina actually got much worse than we did. We were very, very lucky. So, let's see. Oh, hey, long time no see. For those of you who have followed my videos, it's been a long time, and for those of you who just kind of ended up here because of the algorithm, as they say, welcome. Do as the young kids say, smash that like and subscribe button if you like what you see. But my name's Adam, and for many, many years, almost 30 years, I taught fitness and was really lucky that I got to reach a decent amount of people, though by no means an influencer, and I don't try to be one. The past year, I've sort of switched focus a little bit from fitness, which I'm still doing, bear in mind. I'm just doing it in a much different and much more efficient capacity with far fewer people. But let me adjust this. But I've recently switched my focus to photography, and it's a long story about how I got into it, but professionally, I've been doing real estate photography, and obviously, as a hobby, I do everything nature and street if I get the chance, and definitely landscape, architecture, that kind of thing. But I've just been cooking on that and doing it wherever I can and learning as much as I can, and really enjoying it, and probably will be sharing it soon enough. So that's kind of what's been going on my end. And like I kind of alluded to, for some of you who know, we moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, which we really liked. But our little bean, who's now 4 years old, she requires more space, let's say. She's like her daddy, she's quite active, and needs to run around quite a bit. And I'm blowing kisses to her. And so, yeah, she's needed a lot more space. So we moved into South Carolina, just over the border from North Carolina, and have really been enjoying it. So here's our little house. We moved to a little house, like a little in-law type cabin, in the back of somebody's kind of large property. We're on 5 acres total, almost 6. And it's been really beautiful. A little wraparound porch, rocking chair type scenario. It's been really great, and it's been great for Eden and me to kind of run around on. Downsides, if I may bring it up. Anytime that we have a wind or rainstorm of any kind, we just get a lot of leaves and sticks, and with Helene, you can imagine that's been a lot more. But we've been super lucky. No loss of power, no damage on the house or anything like that. So we were very fortunate in that regard. Just make some adjustments here. So further updates. Our little girl, Eden, she's doing awesome. She's going to be 4 soon, and has really, really thrived. She's doing awesome in school and is funny and smart and just so athletic, and really just been enjoying watching her grow up. And my wife, many of you know, if you've watched my videos before, she continues to take the real estate world by storm. She's really, really done well, and her clients love working with her, and recommend her constantly to people. And she's done the job like I knew she would, with attention and integrity, and focus is certainly an understatement. So So I'm really proud of her. And I think we've settled in nicely to life in the Carolinas in the past few years. I mean, definitely been hard work, definitely been a lot of adjustments in different ways, but it's been overall positive. And I do hope to be sharing more and in different ways. So, something I also wanted to talk about was I just finished a book, and it's a book you might have heard about before. Um, the name of the book is called Nuclear War, a Scenario. Sounds uplifting, right? Yeah. Name of the author, I knew I'd forget when I was talking about it, but Annie, oh, didn't have to look, Annie Jacobson. You might have heard about it. You know, it made its rounds in the press and in the media. And what we're talking about with this book is, in short, without giving anything away, it's a stark look at what would happen to America and the world if America was hit by what's known as a bolt out of the blue nuclear attack by a rogue nation like North Korea. The attack being on DC, which is known as a decapitation event. What this book highlights is, I think it's the first 72 hours after the first nuclear weapon is launched. And Annie Jacobson spent years, over a decade, I think, interviewing higher ups in the Pentagon, in the government, but there's a whole host. I mean, she lists the names, and that section of the audiobook goes on for something like 10 or 15 minutes. So those initial acknowledgments. She garners over that 10 years of interviews a great deal of understanding, once top secret knowledge of the structure and the greater machinations of our military nuclear complex. And it's a lot to listen to. The book is about 11 hours long if you listen to it, and I actually highly recommend you listen to it because, in spite of the harsh nature of the subject, her voice is incredibly soothing and can sometimes keep you listening at times when you want to kind of turn the book off. Here's why I think it's important. I think it's important because there's no real filters there, because the book is so stark, because it's so well researched. It's a book that when I've brought up to people when I was listening to it, their response was oft visceral. It was a response that was basically, you know, I don't think I could listen to that or read that. It just seems like a bit too much. And I understand that. I get that feeling. But this book is important. And the reason why I say it's important is because I think if you listen to it, it has a way of irrevocably or irrevocably. One of you tell me the right way to say that. I've said it both ways for years and no one's really told me. I'll stick with the first. It has a way of irrevocably changing your worldview and your understanding of how fragile the system that we're blessed to live within is, and how fragile its homeostasis is, how quickly everything that we've known to love, to challenge, and to be familiar with can be gone in the blink of an eye, just like that. And if you even for a moment get a deeper understanding of what that actually means, it will inform the way you view things. And I think if something can inform the way you view things that deeply, it on its own merit is important. And I think it might and I'm not being political here, and I don't want this to be viewed as political or as a statement on what's happening with the presidential election or anything like that. This is for everyone. I think it would inform the way that we maybe choose the people who enforce and install our policies. I think it will change our understanding for those of us who are just regular, well adjusted people. It will change our understanding of the unpredictability, the impersonal nature of violence. I just got a little taste of it because I worked security at a pretty famous dive bar in New York for like 6 years. I'll tell you that, more on that one day. But there was quite a bit of violence that went on, and we had to protect people from it. That was our job. And because of that experience, I understand how unpredictable it is and how quickly it can happen. And I think this book will sort of serve as a psychedelic, a heroic dose of psilocybin for politicians, for regular people who are fortunate enough to not kind of understand the nature of violence. And I think if more people read this book and allowed themselves to be informed by the ideas within it, we might start to live in a slightly different world. Because this concept of deterrence that we've been so comfortable with and so well adjusted to it's a fantasy, a myth. It's almost the same idea as, let's say, me managing this yard. Here's a good one, right? This yard, there's just constantly leaves and branches. But I think, let's just say, I think I found a solution. Now, that solution is as follows. In order to deter all of these old growth trees from dropping leaves and branches, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have more old growth trees hauled in, right, and planted. And the fact that there's more old growth trees is going to deter all these other old growth trees from dropping their branches and leaves. Does that sound like that makes sense? No, no, doesn't to me either. This idea of deterrence is dangerous, and when I say it's dangerous, it's not lowercase d dangerous, it's uppercase d dangerous. It's dangerous in a way that kind of threatens everything that we know and love, and it's rhetorically and logically absurd. So it's one of those books that I would put in as must read, even though you may not want to. Anyway, it's been a long time, and this book kind of inspired me to finally get out there and reach out to everybody. There are many of you that I'm thinking about when I say I miss you, and I mean that. I know that whenever I put one of these videos out randomly, um, I always say I want to make more, but the issue sometimes is the creative person's kind of paradox. I want to make something special and beautiful and grandiose, and then all of a sudden I just don't end up doing it. So I think just sometimes turning the camera on and just talking is good enough, especially when kind of my main objective is just saying hello. So for those of you who do say this and want to say hello back, please reach out. If anyone has any kind of fitness, body related questions, I'm always here and will always be here for you. If anyone kind of disagrees with anything I said, I welcome that. I'm not trying to be partisan or make a statement or anything like that, but I am trying to recommend a book that I really, really, really enjoyed. So, like I said, really miss you guys, and I will be posting more often. I mean it. So I hope everyone is good out there and staying healthy and staying safe and staying sane. I know this hat looked crazy, but then you can't see my face, and I don't know. I should have just done this. I don't care. Hey, so anyway, love you guys, and we'll talk soon. Bye. And of course, as an epilogue to the subject of futility, it looks like it's going to rain. So, doing a little yard work today, and most likely we'll be doing a little yard work tomorrow too. Take care, everyone.